Channel. So it's been a hot minute since the last time I reviewed a specific product here on a video, and so I just kind of wanted to get that back on track and keep that going. I kind of wanted to do like one review a week of one specific product or some products, and so let me know in the comments section down below what kind of products you want to see more or what things you want me to review next. And so in case that I don't have it and I'm really interested to try it, then I might go pick that up and let you know my thoughts on those. So in this video today, in case you haven't read the title down below already, I will be reviewing the Morphe brushes Jaclyn Hill Favorites palette, and this palette I did a tutorial on in my last video, which I will link down below in case you are interested. But this has been a highly raved palette all over social media, on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. Everyone is going gaga for Jaclyn Hill Favorites, and it's been sold out, and I believe they're going to restock back, I believe late March or April. I'm not sure the exact date yet, but they will be restocking them. And I really wanted to share with you my thoughts on this palette, just in case you're interested in purchasing it whenever it comes back out, and really share with you my 2 cents on whether or not I think this palette is worth it. So I got the Jaclyn Hill Favorites over during IMATS in LA, and I was really lucky to have gotten this palette because I heard that this thing sold out I think Saturday morning, and I went on pro day and I was able to get this for myself and a couple of my friends as well. At first I thought it was a little bit overpriced because I purchased this for $30. I'm not sure how much it sold for during the first release because that one sold out so quickly I didn't even know how much they were selling it for. But when I went on the website, they were selling it for $27.99 if I'm not mistaken. But comparing these, let me just show you what the palette looks like from the inside. This comes with a variety of colors, and it comes with 28 shades. Normally a Morphe palette comes with 35 colors, and they sold them for only 20 bucks. And I can't really complain that it's overpriced because I do have a ton of eyeshadow palettes that cost way more than this one. But considering the fact that these Morphe shadows came from their permanent line, and this was just put together by Jaclyn Hill, I kind of figured it would have a more special packaging just to compensate for the price, just because this one comes in the same packaging as the other palettes, and the other palettes have more shadows. And I figured if they're gonna have a special palette like this, just probably have like Jaclyn Hill's name on it or something like that. But essentially you're paying the extra bucks to pay for the name behind the palette. I didn't even have time to swatch these colors. I just dug right into it and just used them the next day. I have a little bit of mixed thoughts about this. First of all, off the bat, just looking at the palette, I loved the color combination. I love the fact that this palette is not just your typical neutral palette. I love the pops of color. I love that you can wear this essentially all year round because you can have like all of these neutrals, and then you have like these oranges for the spring and summer, and then this green one right here is great for the fall, and then these purpley pinky colors right here you can wear during the springtime and the fall time. And so you have a lot of options with this palette. I really love that Jaclyn took all of her time and effort in creating this palette because I think it is really cohesive. Like, I don't think any one shadow is left out. I think, you know, the color combinations work together. And I also love that this palette has a really great balance between finishes like mattes and shimmers and satins. I love that, you know, it's not like one of those palettes where it has an overwhelming amount of shimmers but not enough mattes to work with, or the other way around. The only thing though that I would say that is negative about the color combination is that there's not enough dark shadows in here. Like the darkest matte brown that you can probably work with is this one right here and this one right here. And even so, like just looking at these two, they won't smoke out a look. Like it's not enough to create like a really dark and dramatic look with these. And so if you're gonna do a strictly neutral look and you want to smoke it out, you're not gonna achieve it with this palette. And if you wanted something darker, then you would have to work with plum tones like the ones right here. And I kind of wish that Jaclyn Hill added probably a matte black to this palette, and it would have made a ton of difference. I felt like this palette was designed for someone who has fair skin tones to medium skin tones, and so if you have a deeper skin tone, you probably won't like this palette unless you use a lighter base underneath or a white base, something like the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk. So in terms of the formulation and pigmentation, I felt like these shadows were really inconsistent. And this is actually the first time that I've ever tried Morphe shadows. I've never tried any of their shadows before, so this is the first time I'm jumping into Morphe shadows. Some of them are stiff and some of them blend well, but for the most part, I felt like most of these shadows blended really well for me. I felt like the shadows were really soft. The matte shadows in this palette are super powdery in my opinion. Like one teeny tiny no pressure dip onto the pan, like I can see powder flying off everywhere. And I mean, it's not really a problem because once I put it on my eyes, it's not chalky or powdery at all, but it's just, I don't know, I kind of feel bad a little bit when I see powder like flying out everywhere because I know I'm wasting product, but I can't help it. And then a couple shadows I noticed had a ton of fallout. Like these two right here are pretty similar, but I've used them to smoke out a look, and immediately I could see like some flecks and some shimmer like falling down on my under eyes right here, which is not really pretty. And then throughout the day you can see more of the flecks like falling out. These ones are the only ones I've experienced fallout from. And without a doubt, the shadows in this palette swatched beautifully and they have amazing pigmentation. I was having fun like swatching them in the back of my hand and just seeing how pigmented they were. However, some of these colors, particularly like the lighter shades, kind of don't transfer well from pan to the eyes using a brush. And so I thought it was just me not using the right brush. And even with synthetic brushes, I still have to pack some of these on. Like this one right here, this rose gold one that I used in a tutorial, I had to literally like dig in and get pigment and pack it on my lids just to make it show up on my lids. And then also this one too. This one doesn't even have like that shimmer that I was expecting because it looked really shimmery on the pan. And then this one, going back to that issue with skin tone, like some of these won't really show up on my lids, and so I felt like, you know, I was gypped a little bit because I'm probably not going to use that color. And then this color I probably have a better alternative for, and then this color I probably have a better alternative for as well. And so I was kind of disappointed with some of the shimmery shades. Like I expected them to be shimmery and really reflect light, but they just don't. So yeah, kind of a womp on that, but some of these shadows are really great, don't get me wrong. I love this one. This one's a really nice like berry color, and then this one is like a really nice bright radiant orchid. This one too is like an iridescent purple, and then this coppery one is amazing. Look at how pigmented that is. And then there's this bright orange, like fiery orange one that's really pretty. But also some of these shadows, I know I said that most of them blend really well, but some of them are stiff. Like some of the examples is this one right here, this corally color. Like this one I had to pack on my brush and just like really work it in so hard just to get like pigment on, and it applied really patchy on me. And then also this one, this purple one right here, it didn't seem as deep as I would have wanted, and it has a lot of fallout. And so if you pack it on your lids, eventually like it would kind of fade away throughout the day. This one too, like I wouldn't have a use for this because it doesn't even show up on my lids. Like it has a little bit of that like pinky iridescence to it, but I just have no use for it. Like it kind of just disappears on my eyes. So lasting power, I felt like during the amount of time that I was testing this out, I felt like most of the shadows lasted a good amount of time, probably around like 8 hours with a primer and 6 hours without, with a few exceptions of some that fall out after a few hours, like probably like 2 or 3 hours. I wore this out at Nick's unveiled party and it lasted all throughout the night and it worked really well. So that pretty much sums up my thoughts on the Jaclyn Hill Favorites palette from Morphe brushes. Do I think it is worth the price? I really don't think so. Do I think it's worth buying? It really is up to you because most of the shadows in here are pretty good, but you know, if you're paying for some of the shadows that you probably aren't going to use, then it's probably not worth it. And in my opinion, it's not like a must-have, oh my gosh, I have to buy this palette or I am going to lose it. You're not really gonna lose sleep over it. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it if I knew what I was testing and I wasn't able to purchase the palette myself. I hope that you all liked this review and found it helpful, and give it a thumbs up if you did. And if you have any more review requests or if you would like me to share you my thoughts on a specific product, make sure to leave them in the comments below. I love you. I hope that you all have a great day and I'll see you again soon. Bye.